Okay, so we're moving on to the four types, and the first of the four types are the manifestors, and they're relatively rare. About 8% of the population are manifestors, and they're here to make things happen. They initiate things. Their whole point of their strategy is to initiate, which means they just get on and do things. So they're an important part of driving things forward. And when they're working well, there's no end to what they can achieve. When they're not well, when they're not working well, then there are challenges, because for them, if they're not self, the signature for that is anger. And there's enough anger in this world, and none of us probably like being around angry people. And it's really interesting because it's why they feel angry. So as children, the strategy for them is to ask for permission. And what happens is, as parents who have manifestors as children, what tends to happen is they see the child as being willful, and so what they do is everything they can to control the child. So what the child won't do is feel like they can ask for permission, because they feel like if they ask for permission, that they will probably get rejected. So what they start to do is to go off and do things on their own without telling anybody. And that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, because these people are unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do, and suddenly something's happened and they're looking at you as if to say, well, why are you upset that I've done it? And so that one of the things that's important for them to recognize is the impact that their behavior has on the people around them. So it's like the child deciding to go off with their friends to play in the park and not asking for permission. And then the parents are frantically running around trying to find where this child is. And when they do find the child and tell the child off for running off and not telling them, the child's like, I have no idea why you're worried about this. I'm fine. I'm just doing me. I was looking after myself. I was quite safe. I don't understand why you're upset, because they genuinely don't understand the impact they're having on people. In adulthood, that strategy looks like, instead of asking for permission as an adult, the idea is that you inform people of what you're about to do before you do it. And again, the same concept really, that if you don't inform as an adult, or you didn't ask for permission as a child, you are likely to come up against resistance. And that resistance is what makes you angry, because you cannot understand why people won't just do what you do, because you can just see it needs to be done as a manifestor and you just want to get it done. You don't appreciate the impact it has on other people. So as an adult, similar thing. If you decide to go out as an adult manifestor and not tell anybody else where you're going, they're all worried about where you are, thinking you're upside down in a ditch in a car crash or something, when actually you just went out for a walk. You just chose not to inform people. So then when people challenge you on that, you naturally get angry or defensive. So the trick as a parent of a manifestor, if you recognize you have a manifestor as a child, is that early on in their development is to get them used to asking for permission to do things. Because once they get used to asking for permission, it becomes second nature. So as an adult, it's become second nature for them to inform people. Whereas for most adults, because they didn't have that experience as child, the last thing they want to do is tell anybody what they're going to do, because somebody's going to tell them they can't do it. And they don't like that, because it feels like rejection. So they tend to just be secretive and go off and do things. And then people are uncomfortable around them because they don't know what they're up to. And actually, once manifestors begin to operate correctly from self, what they're actually looking for, they move from anger to peace. And that's actually what they're looking for, is to be at peace, doing what feels natural to them, doing what feels good to them, bringing good things into the world, and doing it without being judged or rejected or told off for it. So some notable manifestors. Jack Nicholson is a manifestor. Maya Angelou is also a manifestor as well. So there are plenty of manifestors out there that have done really, really well at what they do. But, you know, when you look at someone like Jack Nicholson, you can see where, you know, he would just go off and do whatever he wanted, all his parties and everything that he used to have, and couldn't understand why people were upset about him. So you can absolutely see the manifestor in him. So I hope that's helped. Manifestors are driven by whichever motor is connected to their throat. So although you're a manifestor, you'll be driven by different things based on the motors that are connected to your throat. So the only true way to find out exactly what type of manifestor you are is to have your chart drawn up and then properly explained to you by somebody who understands it. So yes, there's plenty of places you can get them done on the internet free of charge. The real juice is in actually getting somebody who understands human design to unpick them for you so that you can make sense of how you can move from anger into peace by living more correctly.